Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Terrific Trio podcast. I'm your host, Aubree Eastwood, and I am joined by our two debatees, Bailey Seiberts and Paisly Larson. Would you two like to say hello?
Hello. Hi.
Back in the 19th century, child labor was very common, often followed by injury and death. So today, our debatees will be debating the worst job for children at the time. Please welcome Bailey, who is arguing for chimney sweeps. Hello, Bailey.
Hi.
Would you like to start your presentation on why chimney sweeps had the worst job?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you ever thought of working as a kid? Well, that's how it was like for kids in the Industrial Revolution. Back then, the worst job to have was the chimney sweepers. Firstly, is that they got lung cancer pretty often and would die because of it. They also didn't grow fully because of how they had to be positioned. Secondly, is that it was very claustrophobic and dark. Some of the chimneys were at most 18 inches, and 11 inches would be the smallest one. Lastly, is that more often or not, you could get stuck because of the chimneys would be combined. Like in a public building, there would be like 5 chimneys, and they could be like combined, and kids would go down and they could get like lost, and then they just couldn't get out and they would die because of it. So that's why I think chimney sweepers were the worst job to have.
Thank you, Bailey. That must have been a very scary job. Now, our other argumentee, Paisly, will be arguing about how thread mill workers had the worst job. Paisly, you ready to start?
Absolutely.
Then go on ahead.
Do you ever think about the difference of jobs from kids today and back in the 19th century? Well, I do. And I think that being a mill worker is the worst job. Here are my reasons why. A lot of mill workers suffered very tragic deaths, from decapitations to being dismembered. Mill workers also suffered from being starved and abused to be able to fit underneath the death machines. Being a mill worker was not fun. You could most likely die even if you tried your best to avoid the huge dangers of the machine. If you were lucky, you might make it out with an amputated limb. Not only was there dangers, but the wages and hours were very unfair. Most kids worked almost for free for long hours. So, in conclusion, being a mill worker is very obviously the worst job.
Thank you, Paisly. Now, would you two like to make any other points on each other's argument? If so, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So Paisley, I think like your mill sweepers were like if you get decapitated, it was like a slow or like decapitated would be like easy death like that. But if you were like a chimney sweeper, you would have like a slow and painful death. So that's why it was like not a good job to have at that time.
Yeah, I get that totally, and that makes a lot of sense. But, however, being a mill worker, you could get decapitated, which would be better than being dismembered. But there was a lot of being dismembered, and I think that's pretty bad.
Well, thank you, you two. Now I'd like to thank our audio technician, Heidi, for making this thing possible. And I'd like to thank you, the viewers. Now, would you two like to add something?
I would.
What?
Like and subscribe, please. We need a likes, please. I want to be famous.
See you next time. 2 and out.